Can I have your attention for a quick minute, please? Hello, everybody. Here on the stage. Can I have your attention, please? Thank you. So while you guys are enjoying the dinner, we are going to get started momentarily because we have a long evening ahead of us. But I just wanted to take a moment while you are eating and have your wine glasses to raise a toast for our very own Shankar Ram, who has become the TiE BOT chair this year, and you all know how he has been continuously serving TiE SoCal and furthering the cause of TiE here, and now he's representing us at the global level. So just wanted to raise a toast for Shankar. Thank you, Shankar, for your leadership. Thank you so much. And we are going to hear from Shankar in about 20 minutes again, but enjoy your dinner. Thank you.
If I could have your attention, please. Hello, everyone. I know it's tough to get everybody to settle down, but it is time. We're actually running a little late. If I could have everyone's attention, please. That's not too bad. You're doing well. Just a little more. You don't have to applaud. No, but to get people's attention, yes. If I can have your attention, please. If we can hold the conversation. We've had a lot of time to network and visit. Now it's time we need to get into the program and the evening's agenda. First of all, I want to thank those who have been patient as far as getting a seat. And again, if we can please hold it down. Please, if we need to get moving here. I want to thank everyone for their patience as far as getting the extra tables set up and getting food and all of that. We apologize for that. On behalf of TiE SoCal, I want to welcome everyone here tonight. This is our official first event for 2023. My name is Jerry Hykins. For those that don't know, I am what they call the executive director of this wonderful group of people, and I'm extremely honored to fill that role. I also am extremely honored and pleased, it was already mentioned, to welcome and have with us tonight Shankar Ram, our new TiE Global Chair. Another round of applause. I mean, we are blessed to have had Shankar's leadership over the years here in various roles, but again, to have him step into the most prestigious role in the whole TiE Global organization, we have nothing but pride and the most respect for you, Shankar, and I know you're going to do us proud and TiE Global proud, so thank you. And on that, I'm just going to turn it over to our current president, Ashish Sabu, and he's going to get this program rolling.
How is everybody doing tonight? Yeah. Woo! How is the Josh? All right. Thank you all for coming here on this beautiful Saturday evening, and Happy New Year to all of you. Some of the folks I am seeing for the first time after New Year. So hope this new year is as fruitful and great as the last year was. And we had a rocking year here at TiE, and I'm looking forward to having another great year ahead. So a little bit about TiE. I know a lot of you are already TiE members and charter members. So I'm going to skip most of the details, but TiE, as most of you know, is the world's largest entrepreneurship organization, and we believe in fostering entrepreneurship, and hopefully with the help of all of you, we can make a real difference in life of startups and life of other wannabe entrepreneurs. So thank you all for joining us in this mission. A little bit about TiE SoCal. TiE SoCal was one of the very first chapters. We celebrated our 25 years last year, and we are marching ahead. We are one of the top 3 chapters now worldwide, growing by leaps and bounds. Again, as you can see, and pat yourself on the back for bringing this energy and attendance into our events, and that's what makes our chapter such a vibrant chapter. Some of the programs and initiatives, again, I'm going to skip over some of these slides very, very quickly, but couple of things I want to really highlight is our Angel program, which has been really the rock solid program and a star program in the entire TiE universe. and we have invested in a lot of startups in last couple of years. I'm going to talk about that in a separate slide. And other program we are really proud of is the TiE Women, which we are really starting to get into the second gear. We kind of started a couple of years ago trying to get more women involved. And with this year, we started actually, not this year, but last year, we started a women-focused fund, and I'm going to talk about that. So we are really proud to be the very first chapter in the TiE universe to have a women-focused fund. And thank you. Yeah. So as they say, we are putting our money where our mouth is. So we just don't say gender equality, we really mean it. So now I really, the task for you all is to bring those women entrepreneurs to our fund so that we can really help them. And even if they don't need funding, we can help with mentoring, making connections and other things as well. So TiE is all about really helping the entrepreneurs in any which way we can. Some of the highlights, as I said, we are one of the fastest growing chapter. 180 plus charter members, over 400 members, recognized as fastest growing chapter, and we got the best angel program award, again thanks to Shankar's leadership and the entire angels board. So that is some of the things. Again, charter members, one of the other things which is setting us apart is really the camaraderie and the commerce which is happening between the charter members. And by estimate given by charter members voluntary, we are doing a minimum $10 million worth of business amongst the charter members. Which you think about it, it's very significant, and it happens because of the camaraderie which has been fostered by a lot of events we are doing, formal, informal, social, extracurricular, and you will know what I mean by those events. But yeah, thanks to, again, all of you for participating in some of these activities. As I said, TiE SoCal has had its ups and downs. We started in 1992. It had some down and it has up, but we have had a steady growth in last few years. And I feel that we are on a trajectory to become the #1 chapter in the entire TiE global universe very soon. So hopefully you all will join me in this journey and put your best foot forward as we march ahead towards the first position. How did we come here? I mean, it has to be because of the leadership of the TiE network, and I wanted to acknowledge the participation of our past leadership, and these are some of the past presidents we have. And again, there are at least 4 or 5 past presidents we have in attendance today. I think Vijay is here, Tony Dasgupta, Neeraj, Smita, Anshuman. If you can raise your hand or acknowledge. Yeah, that is amazing. Thank you. Thank you. So I think we are one of the very few chapters. We have so many past presidents still active in the organization and giving back. That speaks a lot about your commitment to the organization. So thank you again for that. And without you, we couldn't have been here. So what do we do? Some of the people who are new here, what do? We do a lot of events like this, special interest groups event, our flagship event, which is TiECon, which happens generally in November, December, a all-day business-focused conference. We have monthly knowledge series sessions like the one we are doing today. Last year, we started with, I think, Bitcoin and blockchain and its impact, and you all know what happened to that. So let's hope OpenAI and ChatGPT actually fulfills its promises. So we'll see, and we have a great speaker lineup today for that event. We have monthly, in fact, bi-weekly newsletters now. We also do special CM-specific events, which is just, social mixers where we meet informally, sometimes in a winery, sometimes on a yacht, hopefully. So it just, you hang loose, you talk, and that's what develops the camaraderie. And I think we have a great bond among our charter members due to some of these events we are doing. For our Angel Fund, we have a monthly slot of the third Wednesday of each month where we do the startup pitching. And then, of course, our flagship annual investor event, Annual Investor Summit, which is going to happen on April 6th this year. And we'll provide you a lot more details, but I hope you all can join us there, because that is, I think, one of the only events in Southern California where you will find 40 to 50 angel groups and investor groups under one roof. It's going to be one full day of startup pitching, investor panels, and some Shark Tank kind of setup. So it's going to be amazing. Go to www.tieinvestorsummit.com for more information. Again, as I said, just a quick 2022 rewind. I'm not going to go in details because we did a lot of activities, as you can see right there. Couple of mentions, obviously the Angel Fund for Women, which is first of its kind. Fund 2, we invested in 8 companies already, and most of them are doing really good. So that was great. TiE retreat, one of the things which happens is TiE Global does this retreat once a year, and we were able to send the largest contingent among all the groups again. So that just shows that our group is ahead in business and in fun. They are ahead everywhere. Somebody might see and say, what's the Hollywood connection? So we are not only investing in startups, we are investing in movies. So yeah, some of us invested in a movie called Four Samosas, and it was shot here in Artesia itself. And it is, I think, pretty successful, right? Smita was executive producer for that movie. And we all had a premiere event where all the charter members went. And if you haven't watched the movie, go on Netflix, Amazon Prime, or Apple TV, I think. And Hulu, right? Amazon and Apple, I think it's on pay-per-view kind of basis, but go ahead and watch it. You won't really regret the decision for sure. Four Samosas. And Smita is in the movie as well, by the way. So go watch it. And there is a Shankar Ram look-alike also in the movie. So of all the activity, we had literally a zillions of pictures. I just chose this one to show kind of our year-end activity which our TiE folks did. And this picture is from TiE Global Summit in Hyderabad, where about 2,000 people from all the TiE chapters came together. And TiE SoCal once again was the biggest contingent. This is only a part of the contingent out there. Again, showing our commitment to all the TiE activities and leading from the front. Now looking ahead for 2023 and 2024 as we lay out the plans, we have done some reorganization, and Shankar Ram now is in the BOT. Navneet has also been helping us. So we have created, and they have agreed to be on the advisory board to kind of help and guide us. So Navneet, Shankar Ram, and Ash Patel, I think Ash is not here and Navneet is probably in Atlanta today, but they are going to be helping us as advisors. Then we have these 6 board members, and I would love for you guys to raise hands. Please, Ajad. Ajad is probably standing back there. Vijay, Smita is right there. Ashok Madanji, I think he's not here today. And Venkat, of course, right there. Thank you. Thank you for your support and guidance. And as we are growing, we really need your support and guidance. So we have a charter to have up to 10 directors. So we are actually going to have a little fun next few weeks with actual elections. And we have these 5 candidates for the election of 4 positions. So we are going to conduct elections over next 2 weeks. We are going to try and figure out the best way possible. And Shankar and some other neutral parties are going to conduct the elections. But here are the candidates for your considerations. If you all want to raise your hands, all the candidates, please. Right there. Yay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for throwing your name in the hat, and may the best man win. Thank you. All right. And how are we going to do everything which we are planning to do with our awesome new executive board? And that's a matrix of 3 by 5. So 15 folks right there who are going to help us in various activities, which I am going to lay out. Pankaj is not here. Pankaj and Pawan, they help us with logistics, and they are everywhere, and they are going to continue helping us on those kinds of things. Couple of new initiatives before I go into some of the old one. We are going to start keeping tabs. So TiE Advisory Board Services is something we are going to start. What we have found is a lot of charter members have their companies they are starting with, and there are a lot of startups also who are looking at board of advisors. And we feel our charter members, a lot of them have a ton of wealth of experience which they can provide to these startups and other fledgling businesses. So we are going to play the matchmaker, and we are going to be able to provide the charter members a opportunity to become a board member and maybe guide these companies 3-4 times during meetings or whatever the arrangement may be with the year. So there is really no financial transaction or anything like that. It's just a matchmaking service we are going to provide, and we'll send you more details. We'll ask you guys to fill up a form with all your information and your preferences, and then we'll try to match you with the companies who are looking for board advisors. Another thing, and thank you for Vijay for agreeing to lead this program. TiE, the Young Entrepreneurs Program, has been a dormant program at TiE SoCal for a few years because of pandemic and some other reasons, but now Vijay has graciously agreed to lead it. It is a program for high schoolers to work on their business plan, understand how businesses work, and then it's tied into a 6 months to a 9-month program, which is worldwide. And then the student teams actually compete, the high school teams compete against other competing teams from other chapters in a worldwide competition. So I think this would be great program to start. Thank you again, Vijay, and hopefully we can assemble a good team for you. Okay, so after TAP comes TIP, the TiE internship program. And again, I would like to acknowledge Partha and Sean, wherever you are, right there. Thank you. Thank you for agreeing to lead this effort. And for at least its first year, it's going to be an inward-looking program. What I mean by inward-looking program is to try and provide TiE members and charter member kids an opportunity to intern with other TiE charter member companies or their connection companies. So first, it's just the reach to provide actual hands-on experience to some of these kids, especially high schoolers. And in its first year, if it's worked well, we might be able to expand it with other chapters. And again, if we think about the power of TiE and power of TiE network, with 12 countries and 57 chapters, a kid in Kerala can be doing an internship with TiE New York CM, and the same thing, a kid from Irvine can be doing an internship with a TiE CM company in Berlin, and so on and so forth. You get the idea. So I think we really can harness the power of TiE network. So hopefully with Partha and Sean's leadership, we can make real difference with some of these high school kids to begin with. So thank you for that. We need to have some fun too, right? So we are going to start having a couple of fun activities. First of which is just a monthly drop-in TiE SoCal Connect Zoom. No reservations needed. Just come drop in every Wednesday, second Wednesday of each month at 5:30. We had like around 30 charter members in our last meet, and we were talking for like 90 minutes. People sharing their ideas, their pain points, their updates, anything you want to talk about really. And then of course the happy hour, which is going to happen last Friday of each month. And SoCal being such a big geography, we are going to rotate it. So our first one is going to happen somewhere in downtown LA. Then we are going to move down south to Irvine. Then we'll move to Fullerton. Then we'll move to Valley, and so on and so forth. But we are going to try to cover this. But every month, last Friday, mark your calendar. And we are going to send this out, because if you are going to start marking your calendar, you are going to get tired very soon. I have a lot to go. So we'll just send you all the information. All right. How does this happen? I mean, this happens because of our members. It's really the members who make it happen. So last year, we had good growth in membership, but to continue that growth and continue that, we have some new folks who are going to step in. But yeah, we are proud to say that we doubled our women charter membership. So we are at 22 out of about 180. So at least we are in double digit. We are not quite there yet, but at least we have, from single digits, we have gone into double digits. And hopefully with further effort, we might be able to get ahead of that number as well. So we are going to have a membership committee. We used to have a membership chair now, but we are going to have this membership committee of 3 folks, Neeraj, Kanika, and Mahesh Patel, who are going to help us by doing RRR. Now you will ask, what is RRR? You all know the movie, right? Do you know? That's what they are going to do. They are going to dance their way into the hearts of new charter members, right? Well, they can. So they can do RRR that way, or they can do this RRR, whichever way. I need new members. So bring those members, reach, recruit, and retain. That's the motto. How are we going to reach and recruit? By doing more activities and reaching out to other groups which we haven't really reached out to yet, by partnership with other organizations, by going to different schools, colleges, universities, and getting more involved with some of the activities to get some regular members back in the fold. Our women initiative, Kanika is our Women Fund chair. Thank you, Kanika, for that. And Brenda is heading our Women Global Initiative, which is a worldwide TiE Women Global competition. And Monisha was helping us till last year, but she has some extraordinary stuff going on in her corporate and personal life. So she's taking a back seat, but thank you, Monisha, for your service. And now Manju Pai is stepping in to help us on the TiE Women Initiative as well. So here are my goals for you. I hope it's okay. So this year, I just want 15% to 25% women numbers, but ultimately the goal should be 50%, right? Right. So, well, you got another committee member now. Smita is also a part of that to grow it to 80%. But yeah, and at least have maybe more women-specific event if required, although we would love to help out. We don't bite. Women Fund is still open for all TiE SoCal charter members. I think Jigar Shah and Rashmi Shah just signed up for a big amount for the Women Fund, correct? Where is, oh, right there, Jigar Bhai. And Jigar Bhai, thank you for your continued patronage and also sponsorship, and now putting the money into the Women Fund. So thank you so much for that. And by the way, our fund is not only taking money, we already all started investing in the money. And Rami Health was one of our first investment late last year. And hopefully we are going to make 4 or 5 new investments this year under Kanika and Brenda's leadership. Other program we have is the SoCal mentorship program. It ran very successfully under Manish. And this year we are going to tie up with TiE Pune, who has been leading a TiE Nurture program, and Kiran Deshpande, who is also a BOT member. We just had a call this morning with him, actually, and we are talking about putting a lot more structure and training around that program. So thank you, Manish, and I think you are identifying another co-chair to work with you, and I can probably take his name. We just decided Jeet Mehta. Jeet, thank you for stepping in and doing that. And this year, I think we are going to have an extraordinary program on mentorship. Our TiE Give Back program, I mean, yeah, we all are part of various charities and we are giving back. I mean, some of the names are Akshay Patra, Food Finders, and so on and so forth. But our TiE SoCal Give Back program, the way we devised this to actually do workshops for underprivileged and small and micro businesses. And we did one workshop last year. Payal, you there? Thank you, Payal. And Sonal is not here. Sonal was helping last year. But Venkatesh has stepped in this year to help us, and we are going to at least have 2 such workshops where TiE members can actually give back their expertise and their time. So that impact. I think that event was really very, very successful, very well received, and we are going to plan at least couple of those events out. And I hope you all can donate your time and expertise in helping these micro and small businesses. TiE University is a program where we work with the university kids on their business plan, mentor them, take them through a 6 to 9 month journey of creating and improving their business plan and taking it to a national and international level pitch competition. And Harry Khurani, he's somewhere with his robot right there. Harry is leading that effort, and he created a WhatsApp group, and 30 people joined that university program. So something magical is happening there. And we are signing MOUs with a couple of folks, couple of universities in next few days. One of the representatives from there, from Cerritos College, Parimal Bhai is right here. And I think I'm just going to go off script a little bit since I'm talking about you. We have a long-standing tradition here in last few events. Wherever we have events, we at least announce 1 or 2 new charter members. So let me introduce Parimal Shah and Yogesh Patel, who are going to be our 2 new charter members. Parimal Bhai, you want to come and say a couple of words? So yeah, Parimal Bhai, he is associated with Cerritos College, obviously, and he has helped us with the TiE Give Back program as well. So here is Parimal Bhai, our newest charter member.
Thank you, Ashish. Yeah, I've been coming so many events on a TiE, and last year we talking with Ashish, and he is keep persistent to join as a charter, and here I am. So thank you, Ashish and Ansuman. And I'm the chairperson of Cerritos College, which foundation that we raised the fund for scholarship and all of the stuff. So far, we raised almost $12 million in the fund, and we're giving a lot of scholarship for the underprivileged. And I guess last year, Harry Khurani and Ashish, we met with the college, and we're working on the MOU, and that's going to happen. And the president of college is very, very eager to work with us. He loves Indian food and all the stuff. I have family relation with the college. So I'm going to bring him next time as a guest on the here. So he can join, and he loves all the Indian cultures and events and all the stuff. So I think it's a great program for TiE University, and we want to do one of the program in the college. They just built brand new $100 million performing arts, state of the art. It just opened like 6 months ago, not even public yet. So we want to do one of the program for the TiE over there in that auditorium. That's what I want to do that.
Thank you.
So I got a lot of vision, yes, a lot of things. So hopefully we're going to work together and bring a different area what Ashish was talking. So I got a time now, so I'm going to do that. I'm also commissioner of City of Cerritos. I'm also founder of Artist Chamber of Commerce. Few times I was president. So I'm involving a lot in community last 40 years. So definitely I have passion to do helping the community and bring all this together. New ideas, whatever their vision and anything. So hopefully we can work together. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, and welcome. Thank you so much, Parimal Bhai. We need more leaders like you to join us and help us pursue our mission. Last but not the least, TiE SoCal Angels program, led by Shankar Ram and the esteemed board there. And we have done a lot of things in last few years. But the biggest thing now coming up is our Investor Summit on April 6th. So definitely please go to tieinvestorsummit.com, register. And if you know of any good startups, then do send them across as well. A snapshot of what we did with the Fund 2020, which was closed more than a year ago. And in Fund 2, we have already invested in 8 companies. But again, we are looking for more companies. So please apply to pitch. All right. So what do we do? I mean, we have these kinds of events all over the place. I was trying to put together this calendar, and it started giving me headache because there's just so many lines and so many events. But believe us, we have a team. We have great volunteers who can pull off these events and who can add value. So we are going to send out detailed information on socal.tie.org website. The events calendar will be updated with that. So if you subscribe to it, you will regularly get the updates. I wanted to talk about a couple of events which are coming up. The pitching event for TiE Women, WFN pitching event, a joint effort with Women Founder Network, which is going to be on February 22nd. And then on Tuesday, March 7th, we are going to have a startup event with the Canadian Consulate. And their representative, Maddie Morris, is right here with us. And we are trying to do more such reach outs. And to give you a sense, this is a small snapshot of a MOU we are signing with Canadian Consulate to kind of promote such further events. So we are looking at really partnering with other organizations. I had a conversation with, I think, somebody from French Consulate or France here as well. Thank you, Brenda, for bringing her. I think she had to leave probably, right? So we are going to do that because we are investing everywhere. Going back here, as I said, all these events, in addition, we have third Wednesday, the pitching event. And then, obviously, the TiE SoCal Connect events and the happy hour events as well. Some social events are coming up as well. July 4th weekend, big one. We have already like 40 or 50 people registered for Rio. Come on, we are going to have fun or what? Yeah. I think we are taking over TiE Global, man. Again, November 19, mark your calendars, TiECon, our year-end flagship event. And then December, I think we'll probably be 40, 50 of us going to Singapore for the TiE Global Summit again. So we don't know. I think November or December, Shankar is saying it might be November, December. So our TiECon date might change once the BOT tells us. But as you can see, we have a big calendar ahead of us. And I hope you can participate wherever possible. Literally, there is going to be something happening every week. So I know there is life outside of TiE also. But please try and attend as many events as you can. Thank you for doing that, participating. And all of this is not possible without our sponsors. So I really want to acknowledge our annual platinum sponsors. Navneet Chugh, he's not here, but Chugh has been supporting us for last 25 years. Stradling firm, Ajad Work, our CM is here. Thank you, Ajad, and thank you, Stradling, for helping. CBCal, Ash Patel is not here again, but thank you for that. And then Jigar Shah, JR, thank you so much. PNR, Pankaj Dayal is again not here. Sunstone Management, they are a big supporter. They gave us a $25,000 grant just last year. And we are really actively working with them in helping their cohort of companies as well. And Startup Steroid, you all know what that is all about. Okay, I couldn't leave without talking about one of the biggest things we achieved last year was the Best Angel Program Award we got in TiE Global Summit. And yeah. Thank you. And that was possible because of collective effort of all of you. Obviously, we put together a fund, everybody put together their money. We all went through thousands of companies, maybe dozens of pitches, invested in a few companies. We had a great board who supported us. But I think still one of the persons who kind of spearheaded everything, and we all can acknowledge, was Shankar Ram. He led from the front. He said we have to do this program, and then he did it. And that put TiE SoCal on the TiE Global map. So I want to call upon Shankar Ram, our TiE Global Board of Trustees, and give him a small token of appreciation and also listen from him what his plans are as he goes and leads the BOT and TiE Global in a new direction. I'd like to call upon all of the former presidents our TiE SoCal Angels board and our current TiE SoCal board to also come and join me here in giving this moment of appreciation to Shankar. So please, all of you, Smita, Venkat, Vijay, Neeraj, Tony, all the former presidents, all of our board, I want a big, nice picture here, please.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear me? Good. Thank you so much. Thanks for the warm reception. Let's keep this picture. I want to talk about it. Thanks for the warm reception. It's so nice to see all of you. Happy New Year. So this has been a long journey. I just wanted to give a history and then go into TiE Global. I became a member in 1997, actually, because I didn't know Navneet at the time. I knew Saif Qureshi. He was my customer. I had my own company, and they were using my software. He told me, Shankar, you're an entrepreneur, that we're doing something Indian, come over and see. So I became a member, associate member at that time. I even pitched to his company in 98, to his investment arm. Anyway, I became a member till 2000, the dot-com burst, and then we all slowly backed out. And in the meantime, I met Navneet when I sold one of my companies. He was the attorney on the other side doing due diligence. And that's how I met Navneet in 2001. And we became good friends. Meanwhile, 2007, the chapter was almost ready to be, closed. There's nobody there. And Navneet and I met in this hotel in the Emerald Conference Room. And Navneet said, Shankar, you are experienced in revamping companies. Let's do something for TiE SoCal. And I said, okay, let me see what I can do. So that's where my journey started, 2007, full-time working for TiE SoCal. I've been a chair of membership, chair of sponsorship, chair of conference, chair of everything. I've done everything. And I've gone through 10 presidents, starting with Sumita. Navneet and I played the Godfather, did everything. Sumita, the president, then Navneet, you name it. I worked with every president ever since. Tony, Harina, Neeraj, Smita, and then Vijay, Nixon. And then finally, came our AAA battery. I fondly call them the AA battery. Anshuman and Ashish, the AA batteries. And with the COVID's help, actually, even though it was not good, but the timing was right, everybody wanted to participate. And then Anshuman's energy, we were able to revamp TiE SoCal. Every president added some value to TiE SoCal, definitely. Everybody added some value. We kept it going. And from 2007, when literally and theoretically and practically, yes, we had 2 paying charter members, me and Navneet. That's it. We had only 2 members. We wrote checks out and says, okay, you need to support this. We had supported events here in Sheraton. End of the day, we'll all write checks to cover the cost. Myself, Sumita, Sandeep, Navneet, that's how we did it. But then look at it now. Look at where we are today. This is not possible. Every president that has taken over ran it. I've never been a president because I didn't want to be there. I was always behind the scene guy. And we did it. And thanks to Anshuman, who gave a big boost, and the Angel Fund and whatnot, we are here today. A few hundred charter members. There are 57 chapters, but still the most dynamic, vibrant chapter in TiE Global is Southern California. We are not as big as DC or Silicon Valley. They are the 2 largest chapters. Delhi dominates India, Silicon Valley dominates US. But we are organized throughout the world. We rock the world. You won't believe what we had done in the retreat at TGS, at the Falaknuma Palace. God, unbelievable. People still talk to me, oh, you're from SoCal? That is unbelievable. The Kavali and these guys dance and everybody will talk of the town. That's it. TiE SoCal is the chapter. Everybody wants to be a member of TiE SoCal. We have got people from Seattle, from other places want to be a member. From New York, I think Harjit wants to be a member here. They want to be a member of SoCal because this is the happening place. This is where everything is happening. And definitely, we couldn't have done it without all of you guys. When Anshuman can go and talk to people, Ashish can push people, but you got to agree. It's always two-way traffic, right? They talk, but then you become members. You contribute, you add value. And all you guys have brought to SoCal to this level. And definitely our representation of what we have done is visible. And that's how I went to the board of trustees. We had 3 board of trustees so far, 2 before me. Navneet was on the board in the 2010s. Then Vijay Kotrapa was the board of trustee. And then now I'm the 3rd person on the board of trustee. And then the board of trustees selected me as the chairman because they see what I've done here and what we have done. And then now I'm the chair of the TiE Global Board of Trustees. So anyway, TiE SoCal is, as I said, one of the most vibrant chapters. We are here not just because of 1 or 2 people. Yes, it cannot be done by one person. It's a team. It's a group. This is the most dynamic group. Please keep attending these sessions. Keep supporting the presidents and the committees. Get involved. And then naturally, you can also go to the level. I'm hoping that the next 10 years, the board of trustee, they always have somebody from Silicon Valley, somebody from Delhi. It's going to be one from SoCal for the next 10 years. I want somebody other. We have Anshuman there. We have Ashish there. This is my last year. I don't want to run one more time. But then Ashish, Anshuman, and then more people coming on board. We have to run and rule global for the next 10 years. Hopefully there'll be more chairs from SoCal. That's what we want. Okay? It's been dominated by, I've been saying that point blank to them. We're no longer going to listen to Silicon Valley and Delhi. We're going to do what we want to do. And that's exactly what it is. And coming to TiE Global, it's not easy. It's a tough job. It's a tough job. Here I'm with 10 other people, all smart people. One of my board members was the chair of NASCOM. You know NASCOM. He was the chair of NASCOM. He's been on the board of few companies. He's got, he's the chair. He's sitting there, and he also elected me, and I had to listen to him also. So there's a lot of people, all accomplished, all multimillionaires sitting on the board. It's very, very interesting dealing with all the ego and everything. It's really challenging. It's not an easy job. But they all respect me. It's really, really interesting. Within 1 month, I can see a lot of things, except 1 or 2. Well, most of them are listening to see what I'm doing. There's always going to be people who differ with you, right? But my job is to I told them point blank, make everybody look in the same direction. TiE Global is not without politics. There's so much politics out there. And I promised that I will not run for trustees if there's politics. And I promised them that I will not run for the chair, and that's why I got elected. No politics. I said straight, and I want clear and transparent TiE Global, which is happening. The first time TiE Global trustees have seen full financials, I've disclosed everything. Everything is really, really kosher there. So we are also working on streamlining the programs, chapter support, a lot of things we're doing. The programs Ashish talked about, TiE Women, TiE Youth, TiE University, TiE Nurture, TiE Angels. So I'm putting a committee together to bring it all together, make it 0 fees for the chapters to participate in it. So, which right now it's about $1,000 average. So I'm saying, why should chapters pay? TiE Global should pay. So we're going to probably credit the chapters, and we're going to make it free for all the chapters. I want maximum participation. So that's happening. So we are taking nurture, mentoring to all the chapters. So that we're going to be doing that. And then we have the retreat in Rio. That's going to be a great retreat. We have almost 150 people registered already. 140 people registered. I think 40 from SoCal probably. And most of them, we already got the money. So I told people, oh, we have so much money in the bank. Yeah, that's from Rio. Southern California paid you guys. And by the by, I think, frankly speaking, TiE Global is not a rich entity because TiE Global gets a fees from other chapters. I think SoCal has more money than TiE Global in the bank. I'll be frank. There's no money in TiE Global. So retreat is happening in July 4th weekend. And then the summit, it's going to be in November. It's not December because Singapore government is supporting this big scale. It's going to be a much bigger conference than Hyderabad, not the entertainment part, but most of the content part. Singapore, this is happening in line with the economics and finance chair conference that's going on, organized by Singapore government. So they promised us they're going to give good speakers, visibility, and all that. So it's going to happen, I think, 13, 14, 15. I'm flying there in March to get the meeting organized. So most probably it's going to be that time frame. So plan your trip to Singapore because we're already talking today with a couple of people. I think, who was that? I was talking to Balaji, as usual. And we're saying, okay, from there, where do you want to go? Do you want to go to Bali or Australia? So we're already planning. So when you go there, we'll have a side trip to Thailand or Bali, something like that. So SoCal. And we have to rock again Singapore. So So we're going to have a great retreat, great conference. And TiE Global, I'm trying to make it more friendly, user-friendly, chapter-friendly, trying to make it real big organization recognized as one of the largest. We are the largest, but we are not being recognized. So we're trying to get annual sponsorships and whatnot. So a lot of work to be done in TiE Global, and we definitely need the support of all the chapters, which means I won't have much time for SoCal, and that's why all the restructuring is happening. We have fantastic leaders here. They're going to take the ball and run with it. Okay. So the picture, I was coming to that. I'm ending it. Anyway, thank you all so much for the support, what you've given me. My wife has been complaining that the past 4 or 5 years, I lost weight, I lost my hair, and so this is my photo, 7 years ago, I lost my hair. And she said, oh, you've been working so hard for TiE SoCal, you lost your hair, lost weight and all that. And I asked her, give me 1 more year. I want to lose the hair completely. That's what I'm going to be TiE Global. I think I'll be bald by the time I finish this TiE Global. So it's going to be a lot more work, a lot more politics. But anyway, 1 more year, I'm dedicating myself to TiE. And I think that would complete, 26 years at TiE. And I think after that, I'm stopped retiring completely. I retired from business about, 15, 20 years ago. I'm still working. But it's been a fun, fantastic journey, meeting all you guys, working with more people around the globe. It's a great experience. I'm not tired. It's so interesting, so much fun. And thank you all for your support, and thanks so much.
Another round of applause for Shakar. I mean, we couldn't be more proud. And just to piggyback on what he stated, he is not exaggerating. I was in Hyderabad, and the SoCal chapter was the talk of the conference. I had people from every chapter approaching me, talking about, wow, what are you guys doing? What you guys are doing so great. Your chapter, your members are so energetic. You guys make such a big, we were the talk of the conference as far as chapters go. And that has a lot to do with, Shankar's presidents, Ashish, Anshuman, all the hard work that our committee members and everyone have done here locally to make our chapter what it is today. So kudos and thank you to all our committee chairs. The people are in there in the trenches helping make these kind of events possible. So now it's time to get to our main event here this evening, and that is the conversation on ChatGPT. How many people know what ChatGPT is? Having just been at CES, CPS is Child Protection Service. That doesn't sound good. Having just been at CES just a couple weeks ago, ChatGPT was the talk and buzz of the conference. And so this was already scheduled prior to that. So I'm glad that we're going to be able to address that because I have questions about it. I'm sure a lot of people here do. So I'm not sure I'm going to be able to. Next slide. I was going to say, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to see. There we go. Now I can see the names better. So with no further ado, I want to welcome the 3 individuals who are going to talk more in depth about this. And, if I can get the chairs up on stage as well. Samir Singh, who is an associate professor at UC Irvine. Jasmine Paknanda, who is a senior vice president at CLAOC. And Vidhamshu Abhishek, I'm going to butcher some of these names, co-founder and CEO of Altius, are going to discuss this evening. And I'm going to turn it over to them here in a second. But again, I'm going to really ask the people, especially towards the back and all of that, please, if you want to have conversations, I don't want you to take them outside of the room per se, because we want you in to listen to this content. They're taking their time to share it with us, but please keep this conversations kind of at a still during the presentation, because we want to respect those who are taking the time to share information with us. So I think we're ready.
Yeah, I think we should begin with what?
Thank you so much, Jerry. Thanks, Ashish. So I think this is the event that you guys have all been waiting for. Yeah, we are excited. I've been sort of drinking this, not ChatGPT, but OpenAI Kool-Aid for probably over a year now. So I'm excited to share, or we are excited to share some of this with all of you guys. Jerry stole one of our questions, which is how many of you have actually seen ChatGPT or played with it? So let's get started. We want to keep it very interactive. We'll show you what ChatGPT is. You can ask questions with ChatGPT, but we'll also show you a bunch of other stuff that's very cool and a little bit scary. I hope this is an engaging and entertaining event. So should we get started?
Yeah, great.
Okay. So I think the first question is, let's ask ChatGPT what ChatGPT is. Should it? Okay. I think we'll ask some coordination issues because we have 3 of us, and probably we'll be stepping on each other's toes, but we'll keep it going. Okay. ChatGPT, I think it's probably loudly out. And the interesting thing about ChatGPT is it's actually producing all of these answers on the fly. So you can take a look and see what it's writing down. So it's not pulling from a database and saying, this is a question, here's an answer. It's actually producing this answer on the fly. Now, if you want to ask ChatGPT,
Can you repeat that for setting it?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's not pulling from a database. It's actually producing the answer every time, and the answer will be new. Font? Yeah. Oh, your mic is not.
Yeah, I think it's fast.
Yeah, so if you have a doubt, this is even a simpler version of what it is. It's a computer program that can talk to you as if you're a person, and it pretends to be a person as well.
Right. We can probably do the Ryan Reynolds version of this. Okay. So
We've got a Ryan Reynolds fan
Yes.
here.
what is the prompt? Do you remember? So we can ask ChatGPT to explain what ChatGPT is in the voice of Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, nice. I think what is ChatGPT?
Yeah. That is it, right?
Hurried way.
R-E-Y.
Not fan.
Reynolds.
Oh, yes. Okay. Okay. So we have a version. The video version of this is the.
Oh, I have to. You have
Okay.
the link or
Yep.
oh, it's in there.
Yep.
Okay.
So I'll explain what we did. So earlier when I asked this question, it gave an answer. I took the answer and created a synthetic video, which is, it took me 10 minutes to do this, get a script, go and create a video, and you'll see how good that quality of the video is. So Smita, probably you can use some of that for, I don't know where Smita is, but you can use some of this for your next movie. It can actually create a really good, cool video. So this is the video that we created. Took me all of 10 minutes to do this. Hopefully we can get ChatGPT to actually do IT support in some time.
Okay, we're going to skip that for now. So the question tonight that we really have for all of you, and that we hope you can engage in the conversation with us, is generative AI like ChatGPT or other models that you may see, is it really going to be disruptive? So I ask you to pull out your phone. You can go to menti.com and use that code, and you can say yes, maybe, no, I don't know. And we'll see where it lands. And then we'll ask the same question at the end and see if anyone's mind has been changed after our discussion. So I see some students and kids in the audience too, high school and college kids. You also, I know, have your phone, so pull it out and let us know what you think too, not just the adults. Yeah, so the code is 42001461. You go to menti.com, you should be able to see the question. So right now we got a lot of yeses.
Everyone is very confident, so I think that's great.
And that you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, let's
Great.
So while you're doing that, we'll just go ahead and do some quick introduction. So I'll go ahead and start. My name is Jasmine Pachnanda. I work for an organization called CEO Leadership Alliance of Orange County, and I oversee our AI initiative. And CLAOC is a membership organization of 60 CEOs in the Orange County area. And our vision is to make sure that Orange County continues to be an innovation ecosystem. And we focus on two things. One is, do we have the talent, and how do we make sure we have the talent to take on the tech and AI jobs of the future, which are all of the innovation jobs? And two, much like this group here, we talk a lot about capital and how do we make sure that local capital within the Orange County area stays within Orange County and Southern California and invests in entrepreneurs and early startups versus just investing in real estate, which is where much of the investment goes, or leaving the economy of Southern California and going to other areas.
Hi, I'm Samir Singh. I'm an associate professor at UC Irvine. I've been doing research in machine learning and NLP, and we have a group of about 10 to 12 PhD students where we develop these systems, the research behind them, but also tooling and all kinds of things on top of these. So we're happy to chat about those.
Awesome. Thanks, Jasmine and Samir. I'm Vibs Abhishek. I'm a charter member here. I'm also an associate professor at UC Irvine, but I'm on break now, trying to create a company called Altius. Some of you might know about it. Very much in the generative AI space, trying to do something like ChatGPT, but bringing that power to SaaS products. So now let's go on with the rest of the show. Yep.
Sure. So just to put some quick context, though, as you think about this question, so we've got a lot of confidence in ChatGPT and generative AI happening here. But I think a real question is this idea of man versus machine has been there for many, many, many years. There's actually an American folk tale that dates back to the 1800s. It's called John Henry versus Machine. And basically, John Henry was a worker on the railroad system, and they used to, by hand, drill holes and hammer holes into the mountainside so that they could put the dynamite in there to blow it up to create the tunnels that the railroads would go through. And then there came, so men used to do it all the time, men and maybe women. And then the steam-powered drill engine came. And so there's a rumor that there was a contest between man versus machine of who could do it better, who could actually drill those holes faster and quicker. And in that time, again, just a rumor, a legend, the man won, but it's rumored that he actually died from that event. It's a rumor, and they've said it's not true, but we'll see. And since then, obviously, there have been so many changes and so much man versus machine. In 2011, Jeopardy, if you remember that, there was man versus machine, and the machine won then. And then even since then, all of this AI, and I don't know if technically if it's generative AI or not, but we'll ask the experts here, has been part of our daily life. So really, I ask us to really consider tonight and discuss, is this really going to be vastly different than anything else that we've seen before?
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about what is behind the scenes on ChatGPT, what's really driving ChatGPT, so that we can contextualize what means, when you say generative AI, how is it different from some of the other things that have come before. So AI has been a buzzword for the last decade or so at least, and there have been a lot of advances in AI, but what really is different about generative AI? So Samir, on you.
Yeah, so maybe we can ask ChatGPT again how it works. You don't really need me. I'm just going to offload all my work to this, right? So
professors might very soon get, disrupted by ChatGPT.
So this is it's going to give you a complicated version of this. But I think the main thing to know about ChatGPT is that it's essentially a really large neural network that looks at a lot of text. So you can imagine all of the internet, all of the text that's out there, mostly public, but even the non-public stuff. And the way it's trained is it just is like you look at some of the text and you try to predict what the next word would be. And if you get it right, you try to predict what the next word would be. And that's all it's used to create, right? So it does that for a long time. It looks at all of internet and it figures out like, hey, I'm going to be really, really good at guessing the next word. Now you can imagine guessing the next word doesn't seem that interesting. But if you think about it, if I say Barack Obama was born in, and then I leave it empty, the model has to somehow know that he was born in Hawaii, or I guess if you're looking at internet, he was born in Kenya, right? Like, right? But sort of the model just has to learn all of these facts in order to be able to predict the next word, and so that's essentially the power. Just keep predicting the next word, and it gets really, really good at it, right? Now the problem is that there are a lot of internet is full of text that you don't just want it to say, so they have this another layer of sort of outsourcing to a lot of humans, looking at the output of ChatGPT and making sure the good ones are the ones that are kept and the bad ones are filtered out, right? So you can ask it to generate a bunch of stuff and it'll just refuse, right? So we can try something like write a program that can hack into the FBI.
They're coming after you, Samir. Or they're coming after Jasmine. So,
Yeah. And unfortunately, it tells me that it's illegal. Oh, I didn't know that, but yeah, damn it. So, but they make sure that you can't just do very unsafe things because they have a round of things going on, right? Now, what's important to know, the last piece of it, is when you ask it a question, and Bib sort of mentioned this earlier, when you ask it a question, all it's doing is trying to predict the next word. That's why you sort of see it coming word by word. It's not looking up any website. It's not looking up any database. It just is trying to be really good at guessing the next word. So even if you ask, write a short biography of, I guess, I don't know, name Shivaji. Right. It does something that looks factually correct. Whether it is or not, we'll talk about it a little bit later. But essentially, it has to know all of these things for it to look like a real piece of text. And that's why it does that, right? So this is...
it's extremely good at producing text that looks humanly written, right? So if any of us were writing that, it will be very similar. So I want to spend some time just talking quickly about why this is different from everything that has come before it, and then spend some time actually going through examples, not only of ChatGPT, we have given you a few examples, but also other types of generative models. So we'll talk about some of the other cool stuff that's happening in this space. When you compare generative AI to what has happened before, a lot of AI was used for making predictions. So if you think about a credit score model, should we give credit to a person or not? That was what AI was used for. Even self-driving for that matter. Should the car brake? Should it turn left? Should it turn right? Is mostly a prediction problem. You're sort of saying, look at the scene and what is the decision that needs to happen. It wasn't creating things out of thin air, which is where generative AI is very, very interesting. It's actually creating things. And for a very long time, we have argued that AI will be only able to do things that are routine, that people don't want to do. And now we are in an era where actually AI can do things probably much better than most of us can do. Definitely, I think ChatGPT writes better stuff than I can produce, right? I'm a terrible writer, so I think ChatGPT is definitely much better than me. So I think that's really a big inflection point that has come about in terms of what AI was doing earlier and what it can do now. It's a fundamental shift. We are trying to sort of wrap our brains around what does it mean and who will it displace, how does it change the economy in the future. Some of these things we'll shed light upon in just a couple of moments. But before we go there, let us show you some things about other generative models, and maybe we can go to the Synthesia video.
That's exactly what's going to happen when I introduce you to ChatGPT. The AI light with Mo was taken by storm. Now, I know what you're thinking. Ryan, isn't this just another boring tech
I think the internet doesn't want to. I think ChatGPT is blocking the internet.
thing?
But we'll post the link, and I think Ashish will probably share it out with you guys. So the interesting thing is, like earlier I mentioned, AI was not able to do creative stuff. And with things like ChatGPT, which is producing text, Synthesia is similarly a generative AI product that actually produces videos, right? So you give it a script, and it will generate how this person. So this is not a real person. This is completely synthetic. This person has been animated using AI, right? And so video is done, text is done. Now let's show you another tool called DALL-E, which is also a tool by OpenAI. There are many different versions of this. Other companies are also creating generative AI tools that can create images. But let's try to create some. I would love audience participation for what do you want to create, and we'll sort of increasingly make it more complicated. So I see Abhishek nodding his head. Maybe you can, okay. Yeah. Smita, you want, yeah. Okay.
That's cute.
That's pretty nice.
Someone else? Yeah.
Picture of attendant with fear with 25 people that
Very specific. Okay, let's try it. Let's see that.
So it's taking a long. It's still thinking.
It's taking a little bit of time. Those are difficult ones. Yeah.
Okay, I want to create a. Hello?
Yeah.
I want to create a story for a Hollywood blockbuster that combines romance of Casablanca and action of Spider-Man.
We can try that.
I have a problem.
I think the Huntington Beach has died.
Of course.
It's. I think you have killed DALL-E.
We killed Leon.
Still. Passion.
We'll wait for it to render in the background.
Right? The script of a Hollywood blockbuster.
Like the script is pretty long. We don't have an. So maybe I'm going to say.
Summary. Storyline.
Summary of a script.
Movie that combines the romance of Casablanca with
Action of that is either man.
It's not just a start. Think what?
That's a good step.
Pretty good.
Yes, of course. Very good. Up. The tall,
I hope you are on the edge of the seat. So finally it said. I'm not sure whether 5 kids or not, but there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, most of these images are getting created on the fly, right? This is not pulling from a database. It's actually creating this image on the fly. Yeah, we have a question here.
Jeff Bezos driving up here.
Okay.
So I don't think the celebrities will probably get censored out because they don't want people to do this, but let's try it anyway. A BMW, is that?
Yeah, BMW.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't follow their content policy. So yeah.
Get. Oh, and his yeah.
Go back to ChatGPT and ask what is.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we get a good answer. It says it's the best TiE chapter in the world.
It's faded.
We can train it. We can train it and know to say that. We need to fix that.
It's thinking.
Yeah.
Well, it got the.
Oh no, now I got it. Now I got it.
So. It's.
All right. See.
Bring it on.
I think we can talk about the example. Yeah.
He's taken.
Or we can keep going. We can ask one more thing.
Be careful here. Yeah. Pretty good.
Oh, there's one more. We'll take one more.
Samit, I think you'll need to.
No.
The internet was
The video you probably.
Okay, let's have. Because we have a lot of young participation, it'll be good to get a question from one of the kids. Yeah.
I think there was one back there. Yes. And
Yeah. So the photos cannot do.
Yeah. For the celebrity.
So let me try write a short funny poem about Jeff Bezos and it's right there.
but not in the house. And then together. Finished your one of the letter.
I should have said short.
You can tell it, make it further.
Although if it's so funny.
Okay.
Nice with the tech.
All right.
Yeah.
How about bigger job anyway? Okay. Write a new story. Let's write a new story. Write a short story about. Why should we? Why just one, right? I put short this time, so this is the about. Your goal is stand down, draw out.
Yes.
Why do you prove?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, let's do that. In the style of what?
Salvador Dali.
This one takes a while, so
While we wait for it, and one last question. What is better than ChatGPT? Okay. I'll tell you the answer. No is better than ChatGPT. I think some people know the inside joke on no.
well, why don't we ask it about?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it will know that.
I think it doesn't know stuff after 2021. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
What? Thought you.
About that.
Okay.
Well, that's a good start of right also. Right.
It does, yes. Yeah, all right. I think it might just stop responding because it might have run out of limits.
Let's see theory. I think the internet is also.
No, I think, let's see. Let's try now.
Okay, one last one here.
All of that sure is what
on DALL-E.
Okay. Wait, we were looking for that, right? Other things.
There's yours. It has had that.
Okay. So for this one, let's do. Let's take two completely random things and let's see what would happen. So what would be one thing for
Iron Man, okay?
Iron Man?
Yes. Okay.
So okay, let's say marriage and one more thing.
Order.
Order?
Okay.
Did you do his DALL-E one, the Ken's DALL-E one?
What?
It was all the Avengers in one battle.
Little thing, I mean.
Should we continue? I think we should.
Okay, well, we're doing this one last one. It's a lot of fun to play with this. So now the question is, what are the implications of this for education, for business, for anything else in our life? So I see that there is a lot of energy here. So why don't you guys start talking? What do you think the implications are in education? Any of the students, young people here? Yeah. Write in your essay for you. That's right. Have you tried it yet? And have your teachers talked to you about it? No. Okay. Yeah. So doing your work for you. Okay. Yep. Yeah, this is one right there.
Check. Writing my poems and doing my math problems.
It's not about if right? Applied it with it. Goes back to how to chat.
Great. So you guys all got it, right? One last one here.
Then about folk summaries.
So all of the traditional things that we're used to seeing in education now, ChatGPT can do for it. So whether that's forcing all of our educators to think about is how do we teach this differently? How do we move? There's been conversations of moving from essays that you take home and write to having to do it in the classroom, because otherwise, how do you know kids aren't going to use ChatGPT? But there are also programs coming out to check that. So I think from an education perspective, there's a lot of benefits of if you think about how you might be able to customize, not just do your work for you, but ask it questions that you might have when your teacher is not there or your parents are not there. But there's a lot of conversation happening about what is it that you really need to teach anyone, whether it's a student or an adult, because now they can get half of it done for them. Yeah.
If we try to interpret that.
It could be, but
It's not as necessary. So
yeah.
It could be.
And sometimes the changes could be in the wording, but the essential answer is the same. Sometimes it could give a different answer.
Can you please repeat the questions? Some people in the back can't hear them.
Sure. So I think the question was, when you ask the question, does it change the answer every time? So the answer is yes. I think there's a parameter in OpenAI that you can tweak to say how much repeatability you want, and you can sort of say very little, and the context will be very similar. The sort of the general philosophy will be very similar, but the wording would be changed. But yeah.
So are the answers? So the question here is, are the answers retrieved or stored somewhere in case a professor wants to know it's from ChatGPT? Because every time it comes a different answer, I'll never be able to check otherwise, right? So in a database, this information is stored. Thank you.
I think it's difficult to say if the answers are stored somewhere. Maybe ChatGPT, like OpenAI, is storing the answer somewhere and sort of figuring out what it has generated versus not. I don't think it will definitely be accessible to educators. Like, I think we clearly don't have any access to any of that kind of stuff. But there are ways in which, you can say this is synthetic and not exactly real. It looks very real. But if you analyze, there's now AI to analyze chat or output or writing and say whether this is ChatGPT or not, right? So I can train AI to be able to do that. And I think that goes back.
I will just add that I think that's a losing battle of like trying to detect whether it's human generated or AI generated, because it will just be a race and they'll just keep it better. But there are solutions right now that work.
Yeah, Venkat.
A question. Sorry. I got the mic. Can you do a medical diagnosis using chat? Can you do a diagnosis using ChatGPT? If I give it symptoms, my head hurts.
I think you can do it, but I think it's not like what OpenAI says is it's not, you should not be using it for medical diagnosis. Because I think the biggest challenge, I think this is something we're going to talk about in maybe a couple of minutes, is it can hallucinate. So it can say, like, it's writing stuff that is not true. So it doesn't know what really is true or not, and so you shouldn't be using it in that context. What is it? Maybe. And I think what is interesting is you can train it on a specific data set where you know what is the truth, and then use that to generate answers. It like very similar to this, but actually coming from a database of content that is vetted and is certified and all of that kind of stuff. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many people agree, but from the time before Google, when we had to find our own way, I somehow feel I was much smarter than with roads and streets compared to after, Google came in, and now you just, dumbly put on the address and follow that. I'm just wondering, will this actually make creating disruptions in technology that much more difficult? Because everybody is getting trained to become a robot in a manner of speaking. You really don't work hard. You type in a question and you get the answer. Therefore, will it become more difficult to create disruptions? I mean, that's a question.
Maybe I'll start. So maybe we'll have opposing views. I think what it will do is make us make a bunch of things a lot more productive, right? So we are still the ones sort of coming up with what the ideas are. And I think the disruptions are probably going to be more likely because of a tool like this, because anybody can, you don't have to know, for example, programming. You can just say, write me the code that does X, Y, Z, and it will suggest a code that will probably work, right? So it might even make you a lot more productive. It can help you write business plans and things like that, all of the other stuff, and let you focus on the disruptions. Yeah. It can also help you brainstorm, like we saw some ideas for startups earlier. Brainstorm what could be potential disruptions, and that's also it.
So I think just putting my economist hat back on, the way I think about this is think about what the internet did. Internet lowered the cost of distribution, and so there was market entry from many, many companies who could not distribute worldwide, right, which could not do that earlier. I think something very similar is going to happen with technology like this. It lowers the barrier for creative enterprises, and so a lot more people will enter in, and people will do, like even with something like OpenAI, many companies are coming in this space of NLP, which is very, very difficult to do, and it's become much easier to do. So I think it will, in the short term, definitely there's going to be a lot of innovation in this space. What does it mean for us as human beings, I think is a very long-standing question. Like, if everyone is just going to use ChatGPT to write their essays, will we ever learn how to write essays? Or is that even a viable question, like worthwhile question to ask? Maybe human beings are going to be cyborgs that will work in conjugation with all of these things, right? So it doesn't really matter. Maybe our creativity manifests in some other direction. So would love to get your opinions on this.
Hello. Can ChatGPT discover new thing or invent new thing? For example, can it create a composition of an alloy with standards, say minus 200 degrees centigrade to 100 degrees centigrade? Yeah. If I specify, can it create an alloy? Or can it create a new theory of relativity?
Great question. So we want to take that?
So, I mean, I guess the short answer is no. I think it can suggest a lot of things, but it has no grounding sort of in the real world, right? So it can suggest combinations of alloys, of elements to make alloys, or it can suggest all these kind of things, but there is no notion of creation there. There's no notion of like physical properties of a bunch of things. So I think it could be a good, useful brainstorming tool, like, hey, I want to build something, what two metals have the right properties to combine kind of thing. But out of the blue, I find it difficult.
So I do have a question. Just following up on Venkat's question, and that is,
are we going to become hell of a lot more robotic than what we were 10 years ago, 20 years ago? Just the point is that I am, to Venkat's point. I feel intellectually I was a lot more engaging and a lot more aware of my around. And am I going to become hell of a lot more robotics in next 10 years?
I think that's. I think it's difficult to predict exactly what's going to happen, but yeah, let's ask. I think let's ask ChatGPT.
I mean, I think the question is, can this replace you, right? Any of these answers that we read, we've laughed at them because they were funny and wrong, or they haven't been able to answer. So can this replace you? So far, I don't think so. So I don't think you're going to become robotic in the next 10 years. Did a calculator make us robotic, or did Excel make us robotic? I don't think so. Yeah.
I'm going to be moderating questions from now, so we can kind of try to, as we have people that are raising their hands and not getting enough. I mean, I'm trying to take them by order that I'm seeing them. So
Should we transition? Limitation?
Yeah. So I think one last question. I think Abhishek has been trying to ask a question for a long time. So
The first thing first, check my name with ChatGPT. It's Abhijit.
oh, sorry.
One of the things just I wanted to add to the context, because this has been trained on 175 billion parameters,
Right.
which is GPT 3.0.
Yeah.
With the advent of GPT 4.0 is when it will try to kind of go explore beyond, as you rightly said, 2021 was the cutoff. Yeah. But there are some inherent biases with respect to the racist remarks made by, for example, our former president, Donald Trump, versus the UK Prime Minister. Yeah. So there's a big article on that. I would encourage everyone to go and see. This is not a silver bullet. This is not going to kind of disrupt. AI is still at its nebulous form. Coming from a venture capitalist, just hear me loud. We are far away, at least 3 to 5 more years. So this is just a great beginning. But I wanted to kind of add that context, because maybe people are thinking that this is just one silver bullet. It's not a question.
It's a great context, Abhi. I think that is probably a good segue to the next part of what we wanted to discuss.
Yeah. So maybe we'll talk about, like, everybody is hopefully excited about this and impressed by this. But we have to understand that there are sort of fundamental problems with these things as well, rightly pointed out by Abhijit. So we can sort of go through what some of those would be, and also like what impact it could have on society. The main thing, and all of them sort of stem from this, is the fact that it's still predicting a single word. It doesn't have a database of stuff it's looking up from. It doesn't have any notion of what is fake versus what is real. Just like it's writing a poem, for it, it's no more creative in writing the poem than it is in writing a short biography, right? Short biography is just, factual, so it can sort of look up stuff. So I can also sort of show some examples of where GPT, at least in my experience, doesn't take long, right? You play with it 10 minutes, you'll come across some of them. Let me sort of show you some of the simple ones here. We were talking about artists earlier, so list all painters whose name starts with an S followed by an H. This should be pretty simple. Okay, so we can try regenerating it. It did it for me. Okay, let me see. List all famous art. So it generates a bunch of names. Some of them do have edge following their like shell, but everybody else doesn't. And I'm not even sure if these are artists, right? Like Salvador Allende, I don't know many of these. Some of these are musicians, things like that. We can try regenerating and it sort of gives similar names. This time, a different name, right? So it's just kind of guessing something, and maybe it knows S and H in the background kind of makes sense. Let's try a slightly different version of this. So
clearly, if you ask it anything that happened after 21, it's not going to be able to give an answer because it doesn't have that in the database.
self-taught optically. If you were rocking and stuff, nobody said on it.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly. So you don't want to be. Right.
Right.
So a lot of good use cases of ChatGPT has been, or OpenAI internal has been, there is human moderation. So there's a company called Jasper that's a lot of like people are using for copywriting, writing articles and whatnot. But there is a human being who sort of uses OpenAI at the back end to generate some of these responses and then curate that response. So very actively being used in journalism, in marketing. But there is a human being who's sitting and trying to curate what is being produced.
And that's where also as business leaders or investing in companies, you have to think about like what is the workforce and the talent that's needed and what this could disrupt. I don't think it's going to replace humans, but it does disrupt what are those, even at the most junior level. You don't need someone now writing all your tweets, but they have a starting point, but they're going to have to edit them because there is no way this is going to replace that. So it does make you have to rethink what are the skills that we need at the various levels, because you should be able to leverage this. It makes you way more efficient than trying to just do it by yourself. Can it predict the future? I think it can try, but I don't think the answer will be correct.
So this one might be the one that OpenAI would have blocked. We can try that. So here's an example of how bad you shouldn't expect this answer to be, right? So I just asked it what is larger, 9,000 versus 10,000 something. It said it was right. That's fine. I said why? It said because when comparing numbers, we compare digits from left to right, which is kind of true. In the number 10,000, the first digit is 1, is larger than first digit 9 in the number 9234. Which is incorrect.
Yeah.
Since the first digit is larger, we know 10,023 is the larger number.
So I'll take that cue from Samir and point out that even though in some cases it's producing all of these answers that seem logical and seem reasonable, it has no understanding of English, it has no understanding of reasoning, it has no understanding of a context it's talking about. It's very simply trying to predict the next word. That's all it can do, right? And so if it does that enough number of times, it actually produces a body of text, but it has no underlying understanding of what is going on. Yeah. I think so, but what you can do is you can take a data set and using OpenAI, train it on that and say, here is a list of all doctors in the US. And when you ask sort of a modified version, not ChatGPT, but a modified version that uses OpenAI, you can sort of answer those kind of questions.
Can the panelists let us know when you're ready for questions? Because we have so many different questions popping up. So let me know. And then I'm, again, kind of coordinating the questions here. So let us know when you're ready for questions, and then we'll get to questions. Because we are going to be short on time, so we want to make sure the panelists get through the information.
Yep.
Anything else we want to add?
I think maybe we can talk about a few other use cases.
Sure. So we talked a little bit about, the talent use case. It's not so much, there's HR itself that will have implications. It's basically going to make everything faster, right? We've had colleagues and companies start using it to write their job descriptions instead. So it'll make that process go so much faster. Any original content that needs to be created, this gives you a starting point, but you're always going to need that human to double check it because it is not going to be perfect and it could be completely wrong. And so you always need that. I was talking to someone here who's an attorney, right? So all of that research that junior associate attorneys usually used to do, this can probably summarize some of that, but again, it's not going to catch all the wrong things, or someone is going to have to double check it to make sure it's catching the right case laws and things like that.
Right. It can be used to write code. You're using it to write code. At least it gives you the start code to write with, and then you can modify that and make it better. You can use it for customer support. It will give you, and I think that's a very interesting use case because things are changing in the back end. If the product is changing, customer support might not have enough time to get educated. So this gives you a very quick way to generate some context around the product, which a customer support agent can then take over and try to answer questions, right? So again, the human curation is important in this process.
Right. And I think the coding one is an interesting one because, again, if we think about how many jobs are now reliant and dependent on coding, and there's not enough talent to keep that up. But if this now empowers people who may not have had access to those kinds of coding types of opportunities, it's going to help people move forward, and different types of communities that may not always be represented in the coding community. So I think we're
just wait for a few moments for questions and then come back.
Yeah. So
yeah. So I think there are many use cases of ChatGPT or OpenAI like technologies. I think what it's doing really is creating a fundamentally very different world for all of us. And I think we have to wrap our heads around, even in education, what does it mean to have everyone having access to ChatGPT like technology, right? It's sort of one way to say that, hey, you're not going to use this for your assignments, but how do we think about a world where this is as available as a calculator, for example? And then how do you construct education around that eventuality, right? Like when Google came about, I think maybe people banned Boost. I was very young at that time to sort of realize what was happening, but teachers probably would have banned and said, you cannot go to Google and search for answers. But now it's pretty much a part of curriculum, right? You're expected to go to Google and search for answer. I think fundamentally what in the line of things, when you think about what internet did, it allowed people to go and access information, which was not available. Google allowed you to search for information. What technology like generative AI are doing is helping you synthesize all of this information. So this was a very key part that even with Google, we had to go and crawl all these like 5-6 links, figure out what these links are saying, synthesize that information that required some higher order of intelligence. Now, ChatGPT has sort of that intelligence. It's not perfect, but it's getting in that direction of synthesis. So I think the next challenge is, once this information is synthesized, can we now as human beings manifest interesting things when we're not spending time on the synthesis? Can we do something that's more interesting and more creative? Going back to Venkat's question, which is, can we put 5 things together now that the computer cannot put together, right? So I think interesting direction to take, but maybe we can talk about some of the challenges and then have some questions from the audience.
Yeah, so I think the main challenge still is the fact that you need to look at the output and verify it, right? So if I'm a programmer and I want to be faster, I can use ChatGPT to produce some code and make it part of my pipeline. But if it is, if I'm not a programmer, ChatGPT generates something, you can't just run it and hope that it'll do the right thing. It might do the wrong thing, and then you're back to sort of checking it, right? So the skills of being able to look at something and editing it or revising it or debugging it, all of these skills are probably going to be a lot more important in the future rather than writing it in the first place. But that's sort of where we have to start thinking about the future of how this affects work.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
We'll take a few more questions. Yeah.
Okay. I if you haven't got my eye, as far as I've already let the people know we're going the next like 4 or 5. So Rashad.
Thank you. So the interesting thing about ChatGPT is it's creating content.
Right.
So talk a little bit about copyright ownership. Like, for example, it created that film script.
Right.
And then talk about the ethics.
Great question. I think the Writers Guild is all up in arms against ChatGPT, and a lot of artists are up in. So there's a company called Stable Diffusion that generates all these images very similar to DALL-E, and a lot of artists are against it, like stock photography and all that. It's trained on all of that data, and they're saying you are misappropriating our IP by training your model and generating all of this new stuff. So I think this is murky waters. There has to be some way of accountability. Like when I'm training a model on someone's script or someone's book or some whatever content someone has produced and getting some leverage out of that, there has to be some kind of wealth transfer, right? I think it hasn't happened for a very long time. Even Google was doing exactly the same thing. When you try to find correlations, Google has built this business by indexing other people's content, and they're not paying a dime to most of these people, right? So you can argue either ways, whether they should be giving credits to people whose content they have trained these models on or not. I think it's going to be a very interesting legal battle. At least I don't have any sense of who's going to win that legal battle, but definitely there's going to be a very big, there's murky waters in the next couple of years.
But assuming it's unique content generated by ChatGPT, who's the owner of that content at the end of the day?
So I think there's a nuance to that question, which is if I, as a person, take all the words and jumble them in a manner that I like, I become the author. That's what authorship is, right? And the way I'm writing this is, of course, I'm imbibing a lot of stuff that people have written and I've experienced. So I'm trying to be original, but of course my originality is being influenced by everything else that existed, right? And so you can make an argument for, hey, this is just, it's following the same tradition. It's actually learning from what everyone has done and then creating stuff. If it is not actually verbatim quoting something, it's okay to generate all this stuff. And OpenAI should have the copyright, or the person who's using OpenAI to generate stuff should have the copyright. But you can also argue in the opposite direction that, this is trained on all of people's data, and that's why it's not, there is some copyright issue there.
Content creation at the end of the day, eating all kinds of extent,
to some extent, but it is generating things on the fly. So maybe what it's saying is never created ever, right? So this is the first time you sort of set all of these words together in text.
Hey, so my name is Neeraj, and thank you, Jasmine, Vibhanshu, and Samir. Good session. The playing part with ChatGPT was great, but the question to Samir, because he teaches at UCI, and I know that he's also associated with the AI2 Innovation Lab at Seattle. See, the biggest thing for an entrepreneur who's looking for a white space opportunity and jumping in to create a company is he or she is doing a lot of diligence about all the moving parts, and technology, etc., right? And he or she is jumping in saying, okay, I'm going to build this. And the biggest nightmare for an entrepreneur is that he or she is working for 5 years, 10 years, or whatever, right? And one fine day, something like this comes out and wipes everything out, right? There's almost, they have to go home now at that point, right? So from that standpoint, I had a previous startup that did IoT and AI, and a lot of that was about, prediction using machine learning or, neural networks for decision making, whatever that is, right? All of a sudden, boom, like November, December, this thing shows up. And to me, like generative AI is a big deal now, right? I mean, I got to learn more about it now. So Samir, what do you see as the next big thing happening in the world of AI? Right? What is the sector defining thing that's going to happen in AI? I do know that a lot of VCs on my LinkedIn are blogging about, ethics and governance, and what if the AI goes rogue, what kind of governance that needs, etc. There's a big hot topic happening there. But besides that, what are you seeing as, next coming in, which will be sector defining for AI?
That's a very good question, and we sort of struggle with that. Even from a research point of view, we are trying to sort of be visionaries in this field, and it makes it difficult when 10-year vision gets solved in 1 year. That's frustrating. But I think, so to me, ChatGPT is a great use case of the power of what this stuff can actually do. I don't think this is, as it is, going to be the solution to generative AI. I think what will happen is a lot more companies will come up with generative AI that will be different in different features. One of the features that I'm personally quite excited about is the fact that ChatGPT is great, but it doesn't really, it knows a lot of things that's out in the internet, but when it comes to me, it knows very little, right? And that is true for like 99.9% of the people in the world. It doesn't know what kind of emails I get, what kind of papers I write, what kind of, blog posts I write. And I think one of the bigger sort of challenges is how to make a version of ChatGPT that's personal to individuals, right? That I can chat about, not like Shivaji or something else, but about my daily life. Like, hey, what should I do tomorrow? How should I spend my time? I want to write something to, get some student excited about my research. How should I do that? Those kind of things are ones that I think AI is still struggling with. AI is good when you have lots of data. I personally don't have that much data. And so how can AI still be useful for someone like me? That's the kind of thing that I'm most excited about. But from a sort of business point of view, I think, internet was a good analogy that Vips made. You can think of it as like AWS, how all companies sort of use cloud computing. This is going to be another one of those technologies where all companies just have to, you can't be building a cluster company anymore because Amazon sort of solves it for you, and Google and Microsoft. This is just another one of those things, just something that companies will have to find ways to use.
And speaking of Amazon, ChatGPT apparently did pass a couple of their AWS certifications in I think over 2 weeks versus months that it might take a human. But the question is, right, can you actually replace that person who would have had the certification with ChatGPT? I don't think so. It can augment it, but it's not going to replace that person. Right. And you still have to hire that person.
Hi, Gaurav, this side. Hi, this is Gaurav. Thank you for the session. And we're happy anniversary celebrating with us today. So
yeah, big shout out to my wife. So today is my anniversary, and
so
thank you for the time to tag along.
So my question is, it's still very early stage for ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And most of us are entrepreneurs of small, medium companies. I want to know, how can we ride this wave early, and how can we monetize this in our businesses or whatever we do, rather than just playing with it like Google search engine.
Right.
So if it was 20 years back Google, can we do something now in the next few months or couple of years and monetize it and get, the first mover advantage?
That's a great question, Gaurav. I think Jasmine touched upon it a little bit earlier. We feel that a lot of functions can get, 100x faster because of just generative AI type of stuff. So writing code, copywriting, let's say you're doing content marketing, you're writing emails for marketing, right? To when you're selling, all of those things can become faster because you can now use technology like ChatGPT, right? Of course, sometimes it might be packaged in the right way. Sometimes you have to find a solution that can actually work in that direction. But I feel in general, even for anyone, like Samir was talking about this example of something like ChatGPT being able to write his emails of the kinds of papers that he wants to write. So I think it can definitely have an impact. This is really democratizing what everyone can do, and not only companies like Facebook and Google and whatnot, right? I'll just also touch quickly upon why this has taken everyone's imagination. So Jeopardy happened, and Deep Blue happened, and AlphaGo happened. And these were big breakthroughs in machine learning and AI. But these were in the hands of very few people. AlphaGo in the hands of Facebook, Deep Blue and Watson or Jeopardy in the hands of IBM. Now, all of us can actually go and play with ChatGPT. So I think what's going to happen is there's going to be a wave of democratization of this type of AI technology where even if you don't know how to write a single line of code, you can still get the benefit of this kind of technology, right? So I think it's going to affect and help even a lot of very small businesses.
Yeah. And just to add to that, as a professor, I'll give all of you homework that you should go home, spend like 15, 30 minutes. It's free. You just need to log in and come up with great ideas and make great startup companies.
Yeah. And you can ask ChatGPT how it can help your specific business. If you give it, the more context you give it, the better answer it's going to generate. So definitely do that.
Okay, got a question here from one of our younger people, which I love to see. So,
thank you. So a question that I had is that right now we're in the stage that ChatGPT and other possible softwares are at the A&I stage. So when we do have these programs like ChatGPT evolves into AGI, or you have Sparrow that also gets introduced, and we're at that level where artificial intelligence is close to human intelligence, how do we ensure that it's used ethically? And how do we ensure that, like, for example, ChatGPT is a chatbot, it can help you with your Python code. How do we ensure it doesn't put out businesses like Stack Overflow and Reddit?
That's been going to
Great.
Okay, wow.
Well, I think we all know, right, that the AI itself is going to be as biased, and the ethics behind it is dependent on who's building and where you're getting your input from. So I think that it continually, and I am not the technical experts here, but you need to make sure that who is building it is going to be key to having that, and that no matter how many data points and all of the continual learning has to be representative of the people you're trying to represent, the thoughts, and that only comes by having, I'll go back to my kind of our focus is like having an inclusive workforce and making sure that everyone who right now there is very few people. It's very, I'd say many communities are underrepresented of who is in the tech space. And so the only way we can really move away and get towards unbiased AI is by increasing who is working in it and on it.
Right. And also, by the way, if you guys didn't know, ChatGPT is actually not available in various parts of the world. So it's not available in Ukraine, China, it's Afghanistan, right? So there are places that are actually walled off from this amazing technology. And that leads to a much bigger increase in diversity, right? The haves and have-nots. Like, imagine if everyone in the world can do 10x except for a certain segment of the population, right? Or even worse, only like the top 2% of the world have access to this technology, and you have to pay a $50,000 membership fee annually to be part of this pilot group of people who are using this, and everyone in the world doesn't get access to this, right? So these are very important questions, talking about who has access and also how do we build AI so that, it's universally democratizing the access and reach for everyone.
Yeah. And I'd also I just add that I think thinking about who has access to it, not just globally, but even within our own country, who's here. And, like our great students have been saying that everyone here knows, like, I'm going to go to it and use it to help me write my first draft of my poem. But we need to teach our students how to use it in the right way, because there are people who are going to use it and they're going to figure it out. And we should make sure that everyone knows how to use it, even here within our own communities.
Yeah, one of the things I will add is that a lot of data is one of the key problems. What that means is this thing doesn't change very quickly, right? If there's a new programming language, suddenly this would not know anything. Even it will take a couple of years of Stack Overflow for it to know what to do. But this also applies more fundamentally, and this is an obvious assumption we've made, that most of the interactions here that work are in English, right? So if there are other languages you speak, then you're completely out and there's nothing much you can do.
Great question.
Hi. Given that you guys are professors, how would this affect your teaching methods? Because now ChatGPT can give you answers to like any simple thing or basically anything at this point. So how would it affect your teaching methods?
Very interesting question. Samir, you want to go first?
So I guess maybe it depends on the teaching style. So there is the question of how does it affect teaching versus how does it affect grading? And I think of those two things as completely separate things, right? So for me, teaching is about making sure the students who want to learn can learn, right? So I'm also okay to give them the questions, but also give them the answers. Like, hey, don't look at the answers, try to solve on your own. That's the way you're going to learn. So ChatGPT doesn't quite solve that at all. Maybe it helps us think about what the curriculum should be, in the sense that what are the skills that are important. But from a grading point of view, then we have to think about, okay, how important is grading? And if it is, sending an essay prompt and asking them to come back with an essay is the only way to grade, then ChatGPT is something we have to contend with, right? And to me, I think saying like, don't use ChatGPT and sort of not kind of trying to have checks against it, but sort of saying like, hey, if you use it, it's a academic dishonesty problem. Those are the kind of things we can do, right? You can imagine if somebody has a lot of money, they can still just hire someone to write their homework and do all of these things. ChatGPT makes it easier, but we don't really have lots of checks and balances for those either.
With the technology evolving so much, and if change your teacher side, or would you concentrate on certain skills to develop in the students versus certain skills that you've already procured? The research was, out of the research was once,
right.
Now that you can get this sort of information, what kind of skills would you ask students?
That's a great question. I'll add on to what Samir was saying. So I have a slightly different teaching style, though I'm not doing much teaching now because of other stuff that I'm doing. But so my policy has been more of a laissez-faire strategy that you go and do whatever you want. I have open book exams. You can bring the internet to your class and answer the exam. It's sort of on me if my answers are available on the internet. But definitely on the margin, I think I can push my students to do more. People who did not know how to do programming can now use something like ChatGPT or Know, which is a variant of ChatGPT, to create code. And run that code. That code runs most of the time. So I can push them a little bit more in saying, here is an assistant for you that can go and do stuff for you. I expect more of you, right? So that's one way of sort of how I think about changing education. The other is, if I give everyone access to this tool, the only way I can find out if who has done more versus less work, I think, at least in the UCs, we have a relative grading scale. At least I use relative grading. I don't know what somebody uses. But if I give everyone access to it, then pit them against one another, right? I used to teach courses in NLP and AI. So let you design an AI to compete with all other 10 teams in the class with the same resources. And so if everyone is using ChatGPT or something similar, it doesn't matter because everyone has now, the bar has gone up, right? So there can be other mechanisms of how do you do. But I think we are still wrapping our head around, how to use these tools in the classroom. I'm glad that at least UC has not banned it. I don't know what the other campuses are doing, but at least we have been asked to talk about it in class and then say how people should be using it or not using it or whatever, but at least we have an open policy at UCA. I think some universities are actually banning any use of ChatGPT, which I don't think is the right direction to go.
And I'll just add one more thing, something that we hear from employers about recent graduates, either out of high school or college coming in, is that they often will feel that actually sometimes the students are too technical and have too much just content knowledge, but it doesn't translate to the workplace. So those skills, critical thinking, communication, sure, this would help you with your written communication, but how you present in an interview, or you can't hand an employer something that's just written off of ChatGPT if it's totally wrong, or they can tell, like they're going to be able to tell that you didn't write it or if something is off. So I think those types of skills are still going to be important. You just use them in a slightly different way than you did before.
Right. I'll do my best to get around the room here, so please be patient.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, this is Amit. Thanks a lot for your time. So we are building an app using ChatGPT. So I know how familiar you guys are with the 3 models that are out there. So I just wanted to know if you guys know the difference between all the 3 models, because the cost for all the 3 models is like totally different, right? So Da Vinci, Einstein, or Curie, right? So, and obviously the cost for each token is totally different in 3 models too. So if you guys can shed some light on that. So just telling me the differences between the 3 models, if you guys have played with all 3.
Sure.
And then I have a little tip too for everybody. Like I've been using ChatGPT for over
Okay.
2 months now. So I'll tell about the tip later. So if you guys can shed some light on it, please.
Just to provide everyone else a little bit more context. So when we talk about ChatGPT, there are a lot of these underlying models. There is a sentence completion API, there is Codex, there are all of these things. And then there is yet another layer that there are different tiers of models. Some are very, very powerful. Some are not as powerful. And there are, of course, different costs associated with using these models. So I think somebody can probably answer this question better than me, but Da Vinci is the most expensive one, and it's probably orders of magnitude more expensive than Babbage and Curie and some of the other ADA are the other models, right? So A, B, C, D. D is the most expensive one. If you are asking ChatGPT or OpenAI to do something on a bunch of text that you have curated?
So mostly we're going to use it for financial reporting. So what we're doing is that anybody can put, like just say Yahoo's report, right? So they can put it in our app and we will do the analysis. So we'll only send a certain number of tokens to the ChatGPT just to reduce the cost. So that's what the app is going to do. So basically we're going to democratize that and then reduce the number of tokens used so that the cost goes down. So that's what we're going to try to do. So what we were thinking is like, as each model is different and the cost is different, specifically for the financial reporting, which one do you think is the best model?
So if you're giving it context, in my sense, even something like Babbage or Curie is probably good enough. You don't have to use Da Vinci.
So Curie is good?
When you're creating things out of thin air. Like when I wanted to write a script, that's when Da Vinci really shines. But if you have content, Babbage and Curie are probably better.
Okay. Yeah, just I have one tip too for everybody to use. Like I have another company for speech therapy. So one of the ways of getting like maximum knowledge out of ChatGPT is like if you ask it the points to, like, let's just say I asked it a question like, what are the advantages of speech therapy online versus speech therapy in person, right? It gave me a blurb, a paragraph. And I asked it, give me 5 points. So then it thought more and gave me 5 points. And I asked him, give me 20 points now. So when you specifically say that, give me these many results, then your chances of getting the better results is a lot higher. So just a little tip for everybody.
Prompt engineering.
Yeah.
So you can actually look for prompt engineering. So you can, as much as you can give, He'll give you more.
And on you.
Can I continue?
Yeah, I have one question here. Yeah, my name is Jigar Shah. I'm in residential and commercial real estate. And you mentioned something about real estate. I'm talking about a few of my friends who are in the same business. Are we going to be out of business? Because Home Store couldn't do it, Zillow couldn't do it, and Redfin couldn't do it. So do you think ChatGPT be able to do it? Or would it increase our business? Because all of our businesses has gone up in last 20 years. So can you tell us a little bit?
I don't think people will want to live inside ChatGPT.
Yeah. Why do you think what do you think could be done with ChatGPT that would put you out of business?
Well, I don't know. What I thought is it will give a quicker response to the people and get more information without involving us or
I don't think so.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, I'm glad I can sleep better now.
Okay. So I think we are running out of time. So probably we'll have one last question and then conclude. I think it's been really exciting talking to you about ChatGPT. So maybe one last question and then concluding remarks.
Hi, this is Satya here. So we have Vision AI capabilities, and we are doing a lot of GAN-based generative AI models for actual practical purposes. We are doing try-on for hairstyle, try-on for jewelry, try-on for fashion, and various entertainment-related apps. So if you have anybody's interested, we can actually show you. You can directly show on your computer, on your laptop right now.
Maybe I think we can conclude, and maybe then you can come up and show what you're building. I think all of
it's ready. In fact, I mean, it takes only like 2 minutes. If you can open it, and people can see this. Awesome. What is other opportunities with the generative AI?
Sure. Yeah, definitely. I think this is just one way of how generative AI is used. We showed you how to create videos. We showed you how to create images. I think someone had asked this question about, can you actually feed in a formula to create an alloy? And ChatGPT cannot do that, but there are actually companies that are using generative AI for medicine. So I think for one of the super bugs, there is a company that's based out of Boston that created, I'm bad with biology, but maybe like a antibiotic that can actually fight the superbug, and it's completely created by AI, by generative AI. So I think there are these applications where you can take a very narrow field and then build generative AI for that specific use case. So maybe someone in the future can build a model for alloy manufacturing. Okay, so concluding thoughts from us, I think, Jasmine, do you want to go first?
Sure. I mean, I think that ultimately, I don't think anyone's going to be out of business here, right? I think that, like I've said before, I think this just augments what we're able to do, and it increases efficiency. So it's going to really, as we invest in companies or build our own companies, it's like, how do we take advantage of that? And how do we make sure that people know what to do with the AI? Because the AI in and of itself is not going to replace anyone. But how do we make sure that our young people also know what to do with it? Because things are changing so quickly that no matter what language you learn now or what model any of you might be building now or how you use ChatGPT, it's going to be different in 2 years. So how do you make sure that you stay on top so that you can be a good, strong, and ethical user of it?
Samir, any last thoughts?
I guess I will say that when I started working in this area of AI, like I thought we would be somewhere close to this, maybe in 50 years or so. And it's been amazing to sort of get here in sort of 10, 15 years that this direction too. And so I would say thinking about business use cases and all of it is great, but we should also take the time out to just enjoy it, because a huge way of AI is here and it's a moment in history for us.
Great. I'll take a cue from Samir. Oh, sorry. I'll take a cue from Samir, and I'll say that I'm living in my childhood dream. Like, I always thought of robots and AI when I was a kid, and this is like real now. It's happening, right? And it's amazing. On all the things that you have talked about, right? One of the things that always comes back to me, and when you think of any business today, it's constrained by talent. Any business you pick, that's the constraint. There's not as much capital because of the Fed increasing rates, but talent has been the single most barrier for growth, for countries, for companies, for startups for that matter. And what technology like this is doing is making that gap smaller because it gives so much power to everyone that they can do more. So in essence, I feel that all of these generative AI technologies are really, really going to help human beings and not replace people in the short term. And it will really advance economies, right? Because that talent, I'm sure all of you can agree, like you're looking for the next person who can take your business and make it 10x, right? And this is probably one special ingredient in that secret sauce. So I'll just pause there. It's been wonderful. Thanks for being such a great audience.
Thanks for your time. Thank you all so much. Another hand for them taking their time to join us this evening. Thank you. It's all interesting. It's an exciting time, as always, as far as seeing what's coming ahead next. So
remember your homework. Go and play with ChatGPT.
So again, thank you.
Thanks.
And I'm sure you might be around for a few minutes or something. So I apologize that I couldn't get to all the questions. There were a lot of people who had questions still, but unfortunately, we just don't have the time to do that. Everybody's spread out. But my apology. Please feel free to, while they can, ask questions. You're going to get inundated, I'm sure, here. But thank you. Look at the room. We still have so many people in the room. Thank you so much for all of you coming out to join us again. Greatly appreciate this first event. We have so many exciting things coming ahead. Just keep your eye on the calendar because we want to continue the momentum as we start the new year with this oversold out. I mean, they had to bring in 2 extra tables. So how often does that happen? That's fantastic. So thank you all for coming. Please drive safe, and we'll see you again next time. Thank you.